How's it going, you guys? It's Will here, and I apologize for being gone for a little bit. You know, the holidays get to be a pretty busy time of year for me. So, hey, now that Christmas is over, we have New Year's coming, we can get back to business. You know, we get back to our table here. And as you can tell, in front of you, I have a pretty special holiday treat for all of you. So today we're taking a look at the infamous Mattel Jurassic World Legacy Collection. This is their Spinosaurus. Oh, yes. Yes, this is Mattel's Jurassic World Legacy Collection. This is the Extreme Chompin SPINOSAURus. And first things first, I have to say this figure is more massive than I thought he'd be. So he's taking up the entire frame right now. So I don't know how I'm going to do the scaling for this video. But hey, we'll make it work. We'll make do. So yeah, this figure is pretty infamous with Jurassic Park collectors because this figure has had a pretty rocky road. So what I mean by that is, we all know that he is a Legacy Collection. Here's his box right there. We know that the Legacy Collection, they are only exclusive to Target. However, this figure was barely on Target's website. I personally haven't seen it in any of Target's stores, at least in my area up here. And yeah, you know, this figure was on Target's website when it was released, but it was barely on there for a day. It sold out hella quick. And after that, Target said, you know what, screw this, we're not going to be restocking this. And as far as I know, it never made it out to any of Target's stores. You know, their excuses were, oh, the box is too big, we can't afford the space, blah, blah, blah. You know, just all these vague excuses we were getting from Target, Mattel, just this figure, you know, it's made it impossible for this figure to get in anyone's collections, at least here in the United States. I don't know about all over the world, but in the United States, this figure has been pretty hard to come by. And you can, you know, if you want it, you can go online, but you're gonna get scalped because scalpers, they love to just jack up prices on you. The regular retail price for this figure, guys, is only $24.99. However, if you go to eBay, Amazon, you have people who are gonna hella overcharge you. You know, scalpers would charge you at least over $100 for, you know, for this big boy here. So yeah, that's the history we've had with this figure. Can't believe it, goddamn Target. And goddamn Mattel. Actually, no, Mattel, I give Mattel a pass because they're coming out with some pretty great products for 2019. You know, the Jurassic Rivals toy line actually looks really, really nice. Really, really nice. Can we see another Spinosaurus, maybe, Mattel? So yeah, guys, like I said, this Spinosaurus, he's pretty massive. I'm not gonna lie. One thing I gotta say that I really love about this Spinosaurus is with his chomping feature, you don't have the tongue coming out like this like you did with the T-Rex. So that is an improvement. I gotta give him that. But guys, just look at the all-around detail on this guy. Like, he is just really, really nicely done. Like, when this thing got released, like when it was released online, I think it was like at one of the Comic-Cons. Like, look at that. That is like a really, really great screenshot right there. That may have to be a thumbnail, I'm not gonna lie. But no, seriously, so when this thing got, when it was announced that this thing was coming, like, a lot of people lost their shit because it was, like, one of the first good Spinosaurus toys that we have gotten since, like, Jurassic Park 3's toy line all the way back in 2001. You know, that really, like, the one that comes out to mind mostly is the large-scale animatronic Spinosaurus from way back in 2001. You know, that figure was one of the definitive Spinosaurus figures. That thing looked just like the thing from Jurassic Park 3. It looks just like the creature from the movie. And this, I would say, is a pretty close second, you know. I just love those green eyes. Those green eyes just look nice. That was one of the things that stood out to me about the Jurassic Park Spinosaurus. It's just the eyes. I just love that the tongue is now finally down. It's not sticking out like the T-Rex was. So guys, like I said, this thing, he's pretty massive. Like, he takes up the entire frame. Like, I keep having to look in the viewfinder just to see how the shot is set up. Articulation, you know, the thing I love about the Extreme Chompin collection is their articulation, especially in the head. You have several different, oops, I moved the camera. You have several different movements you have here in the head, which I love. You have him look up, oops, keep moving the jaw. Have him look to the side. There we go, have him look all the way down. That's one thing I really like about the extreme Chompin figures. It's just their range of articulation you have in their head. And of course, other articulation, you have articulation in the arms. Arms are a little stiff though. And then you have the legs. Now, one thing that I hate about all the Jurassic World figures, they make their legs do this, which makes it impossible for them to stand sometimes. Oh, and of course you got the swivel in the feet to kind of help with balance, which personally I don't feel like it really does much. Oh, and then the tail is detachable, so that can move too, once you have it snapped in. Now, some people like to say this figure does have balancing issues. I've noticed, with the camera, I've noticed that mine does kind of sometimes, like, if I have him standing up, he'll slowly start to lean down. So far, he seems to be doing a pretty good job, so let's just keep it like that for, the duration of this video. So I guess the next thing I want to talk about here is really the paint job. Out of all the Jurassic Park, the official Jurassic Park licensed toy lines, out of all the Spinosaurus figures that we have gotten, I would say paint job wise, this is probably one of the best that we've gotten in a long time. Perhaps the only one that would maybe surpass this figure is of course that, that large scale animatronic all the way back from Jurassic Park 3's toy line. But the ones that have come since then, they've been really hit and miss. Like, a lot of them have been, like, kind of their own thing. Like, they're very stylized in their paint job. Especially, the ones from, Jurassic World's toy line from Hasbro all the way back in 2015. That figure was, I don't know what they were doing with that. But then again, no one knows what Hasbro was really doing. They were really doing their own thing and making just, like, terrible toys. Thank God Mattel took over. And now we're getting really, really nicely gorgeous sculpted Jurassic Park figures. But yeah, in terms of paint job, I would say this guy definitely gets the job done. Like, it's really recognizable. Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus, But then again, I've seen because I follow a bunch of other Jurassic Park collectors, and I've seen some people who are like really good with painting. They've taken this figure and they've completely just repainted this based on things from the movie. Like, they got it actually down to the very last detail. The best one that I've seen so far is by a user I follow on Instagram called Jurassic Repaints, and that's spelled Jurassic and then underscore then repaints. I'll put some pictures with some credits to him on the screen right now. The way he did his was just incredible. Like, it was like down to the last detail, movie accurate. It was real scary too. Like, I just love looking at posts like that from other collectors. It's real cool to look at. Some of you guys are just so talented. I'm not gonna lie. All right, you guys. I just love the articulation they gave this figure in the neck. Like, you can do so much with them. You have them look in different directions. It's awesome. Alright, now for the part I'm not sure how I'm going to do, sizing, because this guy's so big, he's taking up my whole table. You know what? We're going to make it work though. Alright, I had to take the camera off the tripod to show you this, but here we have the Extreme Chompin T-Rex. Yeah, see, look, there's that tongue thing I was telling you guys about. And as you can see, the Spinosaurus, it dwarfs the T-Rex. He dwarfs him. Like, just look at the size of the Spinosaurus' head compared to the T-Rex's head. Yeah! Now, if you wanted to recreate the battle from Jurassic Park 3 between the T-Rex and Spinosaurus, then this would actually work pretty well, because the Spinosaurus was bigger than the T-Rex in that movie, because the T-Rex was like a sub-adult, so this would actually work pretty good if you really wanted it to. Yeah, again, just seriously, look at the size of the head of the Spinosaurus when compared to the T-Rex. That's crazy. I'm sorry guys, I just had to do it. I just had to put the T-Rex in the jaws of the Spinosaurus, because you guys know what the outcome of that fight was, right? Alright, now this actually looks like more of a fair fight. We have the Thrash and Throw T-Rex here in comparison to the Extreme Chompin Spinosaurus. This looks like a more fair fight. Now this T-Rex isn't as small, so he actually looks like he'll put up a better fight. No. Yeah, I actually like how this one looks. Like, if you guys want a more fair battle between these two giants, I would say you go with the Thrash and Throw Rex, because you want it to be a fair fight. You don't want the Spinosaurus to cheap shot a T-Rex again. So there you guys are. They're about the same size and length too, I would say. So yeah. And then finally, just real quick, I have a few, blasts from the past for all of you. These three Spinosaurus are all from Jurassic Park 3's toy line all the way back in 2001. So, let's take a look at this here. This one was my favorite. This one had the correct looking sculpt. He had the big The big sail on his back. The face actually looked like the Spinosaurus. Just that the entire sculpt of this figure was just real nicely done. This was my personal favorite. Ah. Then this one I absolutely hated. I hated this Spinosaurus as a kid. Tiny sail. They made him stand upright like a velociraptor. The face wasn't too bad, but I mean, the fact that they made him stand upright, like, I hated this figure as a kid. I'm gonna throw that one over there. This one was the much better one because he was more hunched over. As you can see, the Mattel one is hunched over as well. That's how it should be for the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus never stood upright. Then this last one, this was one that came with a T-Rex. You would plug it into like a little stand here, and then you'd have the T-Rex just knock each other back and forth until one of them fell. This one, you know, it was its own thing. You know, it was its own thing. The paint job was really, really weird. It was just real bright bleach color, so that was pretty weird. But you know, this one was slightly better than, you know, that brown one. But still, he stands upright, kind of. So yeah, we've come a long way since those days, and now we got Mattel's own Spinosaurus. And this one, like I said, you know, it blows pretty much all the other Spinosauruses, you know, out of the water. You know, like I said, the other one that would probably come close to it is that the animatronic one from Jurassic Park 3's toy line, which I used to have, but he got lost in when I was moving houses back then. So damn it. Alright, you guys, so that's pretty much all I have to say on the Mattel Jurassic World Legacy Collection Spinosaurus. This figure, I'm not gonna lie, he's become one of my new favorites out of, you know, my entire Jurassic Park collection. You know, he is up there with, you know, the Mosasaurus, the Super Colossal T-Rex, and, you know, this guy, he actually sits on the shelf with all of those, so that's why, you know, this figure has become one of my favorites, Mattel's whole toy line. You know, ever since he was released, well, ever since it was announced that we're getting a Spinosaurus, I always wanted to get my hands on it because I have huge nostalgia for the Spinosaurus. You know, Jurassic Park 3 was the probably the first Jurassic Park movie I saw in theaters. Granted, I was really young, but you know, I remember just seeing Jurassic Park 3's toy line just everywhere when I was a kid, Walmart's, Targets, and I just had, you know, just huge nostalgia for the Spinosaurus. You know, the creature was my childhood, basically. I actually surprisingly never hated the Spinosaurus for killing the T-Rex like a lot of people did back then. But I was just blown away by just its massive size. Like, this thing was bigger than a T-Rex. You know, it was just massive. This thing was just a beast. So in terms of a rating for this guy, that's a good question. I would have to say, I would give this figure a 9 out of 10. The only thing that stops him from being a pretty perfect 10 is, he does have balancing issues. You know, slowly he starts to tilt downwards, but you know, that's not a big thing, you know, but his tail is a little short for a Spinosaurus. That's the only thing I have to nick him for. His tail is a little short and stubby, but you know, it's not that big an issue. You know, the figure is still incredible. You know, probably one of the best Spinosaurus toys that we've gotten since Jurassic Park 3's toy line with their large-scale animatronic Spinosaurus. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you guys were excited to see the Spinosaurus as much as I was to get him, because I never thought I'd get my hands on the Spinosaurus from Mattel, but, you know, my mom really came through. You know, like I said, I don't want to know how much she paid for this, because this thing goes for crazy prices now online. So if you guys are going to get it, try to get it at a decent price, you know, but lately all I've seen is just this guy going for over $100, you know, damn scalpers. But alright guys, it's been the review of Mattel's Spinosaurus. If you guys are fans of Spinosaurus, try to get this guy. I'm telling you right now. But, you know, try to get him for a reasonable price. Don't spend crazy amount of money for this figure. Even though I would say he is pretty worth it. He is a really nice, gorgeous looking piece.